Welcome to episode 18 of YOUx2, where we're on an adventure discovering the two of us that are living this human experience, this human character that we're playing upon the earth, and the actor behind this character, this powerful, supernatural, eternal spirit being made of unconditional love. We've been talking about how we can experience the spirit world through the five senses of our human character. We already talked about the speech and what goes in our mouth and comes out of our mouth. And we have been talking about the touch piece. We're going to continue talking about touch through what some might call the laying on of hands or the healing touch. And it's about the energetic aspects of that. Everything is energy. And at the core, everything is made up of some sort of energy. And the more deeply that scientists are able to look into the particles, the more they see that everything being made is of the same energy. It almost seems alive. And I have a personal belief that everything is made of the same type of energy when we're able to get to the smallest, tiniest particle. And that energy is unconditional love energy. We are in this existence on purpose, for a purpose. And it's like we're on the stage experiencing things. But for the sake of this play, we need props, we need costumes, we need these bodies. And so the prop department creates these things from the source that it has to pull from. Love energy. It just vibrates at a different frequency in order for it to appear different. Earth versus air versus fire versus water. And when I hold my fingers together, though they feel like they're touching, when you magnify it to the smallest and tiniest, there's actually still space in between my fingers. So maybe it's not a physical sensation that we're feeling, but maybe it's an energetic sensation. And like when I hold this rock, where does the rock end and my body begin? In a sea of drops and, all the water drops in a sea, how does one drop differentiate itself from another? This giant field of energy that we're existing in, how does it change? How does it understand the differences between the two? And I feel this energy is like timeless and boundless. The little I know about quantum physics, they mention that like energy particles, when they're not being watched, they act differently than when they are being watched with human eyes. And that alone is pretty awesome, maybe a little freaky sometimes when you think about it. But, I grew up in an organized religion that believed in faith healing. And so the concept of things changing and the things of this energy moving is not new to me. But when kind of one of the first experiences I had where I felt the energy myself was us hanging around with a group of friends of mine. And one of them, she was going through a particularly rough time in her life. And she happened to be sitting like right next to me, just sharing the pain and what was going on with her. And I just felt this so much compassion and care for her. I just felt this urge to put my hand down on her lower back. We're sitting like on these bar stools without any backs on them. And so I just put my hand down there. It felt supportive and caring, but I just felt warm and I felt like the love flowing, that caring feeling that you get. And she was talking and she just stopped and she looked over at me and she said, "Your hand is really, really hot." And she said, my lower back was killing me because of all the stress that I'm carrying, but I feel it dissipating and it going away. And I was like, wow. And one of our other friends that was in that group, she actually was aware of, kind of metaphysical, different types of healing and stuff. And she goes, "Do you do healing energy?" And I'm like, I have no idea what she was talking about. I was like, not that I'm aware of, but It was flowing just because that is our being. That is the loving being, our higher self that it is. And when we channel that beautiful energy through us, when love gets activated, it can flow through us. And that was like kind of like a little bit of a whoa, a little pinch waking me up a little bit around that. And then a couple months later, I was actually chatting with a friend of mine over in Germany, and it was back. I know I'm old because this is back in the days when video cameras were not like this as common as they are now. I mean, even on phones and everything else. So I was just chatting with them online, not seeing, interacting with them, but just saying hello as I kind of felt like he wasn't being himself. And so I just said, "Hey, what's going on? You're not yourself today." And he was like, "Oh God, I've got this migraine that's killing me. And even my most potent, heavy duty migraine medication is not impacting it." And right when he said that, I just felt like this energy, this electricity just dropped down the back of my head and just flowed through my body. And like all the hair on my arms, they were like standing up too. And I was like, oh my gosh, I felt like I was going to pop if I didn't do something with this energy. And I was like, well, maybe this is for him, because it ignited when he mentioned, this need. And so I just said, typed to him and said, "Hey, I'm having this. Are you open to this at all?" And he was actually aware of energy healing, which is pretty awesome. And he said, "Yeah, absolutely." And so I put my hands like around the monitor, like it was his head. And then I felt the surge of energy just go. And it was like, whew. So, good reasoning with that. I didn't explode. But within a couple minutes, his migraine was completely gone. And that, blew me away. And then, weeks went on, and I hadn't seen him. We hadn't been like online at the same time to be able to chat. And I was like, I wonder what's going on with him. I just felt like, well, I'm going to send him an email. So I sent him an email. And as I was typing out the email, again, I felt like this surge of energy, but it didn't like stop. It just, because I was typing and just seeing how he was doing, it kind of all flowed out into like the email in a way. And I was like, okay, this is cool. Didn't think of anything of it. And I sent the email off. A couple of days later, I did get a response from him, and he was like, wow. He goes, "I don't know if you know this, but your energy now travels by email," because he had a migraine again. And when he opened up my email, the energy just, and his migraine went away. And that's why I feel like this energy is timeless and boundless, that really it's only limited, if it can be limited by our own beliefs on what it can do. And I kind of feel like because I hadn't studied it, I hadn't looked into, healing energy or whatever it might be, that because I had no idea of wasn't supposed to be and should be, it just was able to do what it was wanting to do. And I think the more sometimes that we study things, we're like, oh no, that's not the way it's supposed to be. You can study Reiki energy, and I think it's called Qigong, and they have all these different names that humans have put around the energy and how it works. And then unfortunately, in a way that our human mind gets, because it wants to define and control it and different things like that, it starts to box it in to where like, oh no, we can't do that until we've reached stage 10. It's like, okay, if you feel that you want to limit it, go ahead. That's your experience. But I don't personally feel like we need to define it. It's like, let it be unlimited. Let it do the things that it wants to do. And I want to try and experiment with you today if you're willing. It's something that I do with my friends. And I'll give you some examples so that you're not like, what are you about to do? So I usually would like the prayer little icon, emoticon, I would have them go like this. And then I would put my hands around it without touching them. And I would like circulate the energy through me, like, going like out my right hand, going into my left hand. And I would just have it flow, through my arms and through my hands that way. And they would feel that energy flow through their hands. and they would, with that, my other friend that we talked about, they would feel the heat, and, even though I'm not touching it, they could feel the heat generating off of your hands onto the back of their hands here. And so they'd feel the little tingling that was going on there. And I actually had a family that I did that with. I was sitting out on their patio, and I just went to each one and did it. And they were just like, oh my gosh, this is so intriguing. And they were so interested in it. And so each of them felt that. And then I said, let me try something else. And so I went back on the other side of the, little patio table and all that. And I was just sitting there. I go, now I want you to continue to do that. But I'm going to do it from over here. I'm going to send it to all of you at the same time. And as soon as I did it, they all were like, and they all felt it like at the same time too. And you're just like, wow, it's like the more you use the energy, the stronger it becomes. And the more you allow not to have boundaries around it, the more you're just like, wow, I'm going to try this and do that and do that and do this. Actually visited my dad and his girlfriend in Hawaii a few years ago. Actually, gosh, it's probably like 5 to 10 years ago now. But she had injured her foot, and she had a cast on her foot. And she actually, when I was telling them about that energy, she hobbled over and put her foot in my lap, and she was just like, well, zap it then. And so I was like, okay. And I just, put my hands over the cast, not touching it, and just put over the cast, and her eyes got really big because she felt the warmth inside the cast, and she felt the pain moving away out of her foot because it was hurting her. And she was just like, wow, And then the next day, her foot started to, hurt a little bit because she walked on it a lot because we were, out doing stuff. And I said, let me try something. Let me do it from here while you're sitting over in that chair. And so I did the same thing, and I did the energy from across the room, and her eyes got even bigger than the day before. And she goes, it's even more strong than when, you were like that close to it, which I was just like, you learn and you grow about the limitations of stuff, right? And then after I had left and came back, my dad, he's a Sagittarius trickster. He likes to, not pull pranks, but he just likes to try stuff too. And he goes, hey, and he was just texting me. He goes, her foot's bothering her today. Why don't you try sending the energy, and I'll see if she notices. And I was like, okay. And so I sent it. And she texted me, are you sending me energy? Because she felt that all the way across in Hawaii. And, it was like happening real time. So it's just a lot of amazing. I love telling the stories. And as I tell stories, I'm reminded of more and more of them because it's so amazing and it's so extensive. And again, if we don't limit it, then anything can be possible, right? So I'd like to try it with you right now. I'd like you, if you would, you can put your hands, together like this. Just close your eyes and take a deep breath. And then I'm going to put my hands around yours, no matter where you're at, who you are, what time you see this video. It's beyond time and space, like my friend in Germany. And I'm just going to send energy through and just allow it to feel that flow and the electricity and the warmth. Just feel that amazing love energy. Oof. I feel it flowing definitely. So thank you for your openness to receive. And when you're ready, just open your eyes. Something else I did for my friends on the patio that day was I had them cup their hands like this. And because you have this amazing, powerful energy, allow it to flow through, whether you're left-handed or right-handed, however you want it, whatever is your dominant hand, let that be the one that sends the energy and let the other one be the conduit to receive it. So have the energy flow into the other, and just have it circulate through, and just intend to flow. Just feel the energy flow. And you might even be able to feel it so much that when you do like this, you'll feel like it's like a little Nerf ball inside, because that energy is existing there. And you might even see some little lights in a way kind of flicker through, like the particles, like a little fuzziness going through sometimes too. So don't be afraid if you see anything like that. But just know that it is a muscle. And if you practice that and just breathe and allow that love energy just to come down into you, flow through you, that you can feel that. And so, like we were talking about, that is a way that you can feel. It's like, this is like the touch of the energy. You can feel that beautiful energy, that unconditional love energy of the creator of all things, of all those beings of love and light on the other side. You can feel that energy. You can feel that touch from them if you would like. And in the next episode, we're going to move on and talk about how we can experience the spirit world through scent. So in the meantime, if you do want more messages of love from above, in addition to these YOUx2 videos that I put out each week, I also put out monthly readings for each of the zodiac signs, also weekly energy updates for each of the zodiac signs, and a few other types of videos. So if you don't want to miss out on any of those messages and be notified immediately when they become available, if you give this video a little thumbs up, click this like button, also click the subscribe button, and that'll give you access to this notification bell. And when you go in there, if you click the all option, then you'll be notified of any new videos that come out on this channel. Also, doing those things helps spread the love and helps my channel actually grow. So when you like a video and you share a video, comment on a video, or subscribe to the channel, doing those things helps the YouTube algorithm get really excited and share the videos of the channel with other people as well. So if you feel inspired to do any of those things, I am definitely grateful for that. And also, the readings that I put out are general readings. If you're looking for even more specific information for your specific life, I do offer personal readings, and all that information is in the description box below as well. So all you beautiful people, as you go through this amazing week, please know that every second of every day of your life that you are unconditionally loved by the creator of all things. And of course, I love you too. You have an amazing week. I'm sure I'll be talking to you very soon. But in the meantime, you hang in there and you take care.